welcome to my new video. Today I thought I'd do a tier ranking of all the books I've read this year. There's not that many of them, but I think it might still take some time, so let's just get into it. By the way, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my laptop. So first let's look at the tiers that I made. So first one is obsessed. So that means that I'm obsessed with that book. It's one of my favorites, one of the best ones I've read this year. Next is enjoyed it a lot. So that means maybe it's not my favorite, but I still enjoyed it a lot and I would highly recommend other people to read it. Next one is it was okay. So it was not particularly bad or particularly good. It was okay. It was enjoyable, but like maybe I don't think about it often. Next, I expected something better. So I had higher expectations for this book and they were not met. Last one, not for me. But this one, I named it not for me because I feel like judging books is very subjective, and just because I don't like a certain book doesn't mean that other people cannot like it, and it doesn't mean that the book is bad. Okay, so the first book that I got here is Angel Fall, and that I have to say I enjoyed it a lot. So this is like a post-apocalyptic fantasy novel about angels who come down to destroy the earth, and it's also like a paranormal romance. It is very good. However, the second book in this trilogy, World After, I'm gonna have to say I expected something better. The first book, it was my favorite one. It was just so good. And then the second book, I felt like I was kind of bored throughout it, and there was just not enough of the Raphael. Is that how you pronounce his name? The main male character. And then the last book, End of Days, I'm gonna have to say it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it was not as good as Angel Fall. Like nothing beats Angel Fall. Okay, next we've got, let's go with The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. All go straight to obsessed. I love this series, this trilogy so much. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm obsessed with all of these, and I highly recommend you read them if you haven't already. Next we got Caraval, and this one I'm gonna also have to say obsessed. Like, I think about this book all the time after finishing it. It was definitely very unique. I loved Scarlett and Juliet, and that is very important piece of information because in the second book we do not focus on Scarlett or Julian, we focus on Scarlett's sister Tella, which, look, it's not like I don't like her, I do like her, but I preferred Scarlett's point of view, and I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion or not. I'm gonna have to say I enjoyed it a lot. It was still good, but it was not as good as Caraval. Next, we've got Truly Devious. Gonna have to say I expected something better. So I feel bad putting it there. I really had high hopes for this book because I love a good mystery, but I didn't really vibe with the story or the character. I just didn't really like this book, but I did hear that the next books in this series are better, so I will probably read them just to see if I like them more. Next, oh no, it's unpopular opinion time. So we've got Red, White, and Royal Blue. Listen, I know so many people love this book, but it was not for me. What should I say? First of all, I didn't really care for the characters. Second of all the like political aspects, it was really boring. Actually, this whole book was so boring for me. I almost did not finish it. I kind of forced myself to, which now in hindsight I feel like I shouldn't have. Why should you waste time to read books you don't enjoy? I just wanted to see if I will like it more if I read it till the end, but I didn't, so it was just not for me, simply. But if you want to read it, I think you should give it a chance, because like I said, many people love it. Next we've got the graphic novel Heartstopper. This one, okay, I feel kind of bad putting it in It Was Okay, because it is very good and cute and makes you smile. It's so adorable. But you know, if I compare it to like Angelful or Legendary, I just cannot put them in the same category, you know? But also, like, I'm not used to reading graphic novels. Like, you just read them so fast, and after I was done, I didn't really think much about it. So it's going into It Was Okay. Next we've got the Inheritance Game trilogy, and I think all of them are gonna go in. I enjoyed it a lot. So I feel like the Hawthorne Legacy was my favorite of all the three, but I did enjoy all of them in a similar way. It's just basically a very good trilogy, and I do recommend it. It was a very fun read. Next we've got The Overnight Guest. I feel like this one is the least famous of all the books I've got here, but it was a very good thriller. I really enjoyed it, and like I couldn't put it down. So I do recommend it if you are into thrillers. Next we've got another thriller, One of Us is Lying. This one, I did enjoy this book, but I have to say I was a bit disappointed with the ending, so maybe it was okay. We've got 4 people here, and we see everyone's point of view. Some of the points of view were boring, some of them were enjoyable, so I'm gonna have to say it was okay. I do have to read the sequel, so we'll see. Next we've got Shadow Kiss, and this one is actually a reread for me, and this one goes to Obsessed. So this is the 3rd book in Vampire Academy series, and I love this series so much, and this book in particular, it's so good. Next we've got a psychological thriller, The Housemaid. This one I enjoyed a lot. It was very good, very unsettling. Maybe I liked it a tiny bit more than The Overnight Guest, but still both of them are very good thrillers. And lastly, we've got 2 classics. So I've been trying to read more classics. Maybe let's start with Pride and Prejudice, and that I enjoyed a lot. So I read it in Polish actually, which is my native language, and I feel like it was a good decision because made it easier for me to understand it, I think, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I love the movie as well too, it's so good. Last but not least, we've got The Picture of Dorian Gray. Ooh, this one I'm gonna have to say was okay. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely get why many people consider it a very good classic. It is very good. It makes you think a lot. But it's just also I read it in English. I'm not sure if it wasn't a mistake, because it was like pretty hard to get through. And now I'm not sure if it's because of the language barrier or just simply this book wasn't for me. Okay, so this is all the books I read this year and how I would rank them. And let me know your favorite read of this year in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!